Hello everyone, welcome to Sports Roundup. I'm your host Vanlalata. Today I'm having a special guest, the youngest world champion in the shooting event, Ms. ESHA Singh with me in the studio. Hi ESHA.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
ESHA is based out of from Hyderabad. So the youngest Indian shooter, pistol shooter. ESHA, how did you started your journey?
So my dad is a sportsman, so I have always seen him winning trophies, and I was always a sports enthusiast. I think I got it from him, and I've played a number of sports, and as I was going through these sports, I found out about shooting through my dad's friend who was a shotgun player at the Gachibowli Stadium, and that was my first look towards shooting. And I guess the sound of the shots really thrilled me up, and it was a very unique sport compared to my other ones which I've played, like badminton or tennis. So I gave it a try and I just got hooked to it.
Yeah, I have read in a few articles about your childhood that you have taken up two sports, badminton and tennis. So how long did you take up that sports?
I played them for a couple of years. I don't really remember, maybe 2 or 3 years each. And yeah, it was during my summer camps because I didn't have school, I didn't know what to do, so this was more like a hobby for me.
What did you find more interesting in this sport?
Again, as I said, it was a unique sport, and it was no endurance, no cardio required as to compare to my other sports. It was an indoor game, so I didn't have to face the weather much.
So you are a former world number two in the World Championships 2022, which happened at Baku, as well as the junior youngest silver medalist in Egypt World Championships 2022, and the Pradhan Mantri Bal Puraskar awardee in 2020. It's so proud of you, ESHA. It's an honor to be like at such a youngest age. How did you achieve all these things?
The credit goes to my dad and his dedication, and I've put in a lot of hard work towards it, and I guess my passion always has driven me in the sport.
ESHA, could you please tell us about your journey into this competitive world of shooting?
My journey wasn't different from any other sportsman. It's been the same. Everybody has to go through hardships, and yeah, I've learned a lot. I've grown as a person in this journey, and I'm very grateful for it.
So in Hyderabad, like how many hours do you practice, and who's your coach? Please let me know about all your training details.
So I have been training with Ved Prakash. He is my coach. He was a former Indian team coach, and so shooting, I have 2 sessions in a day. So a normal shooting session requires about 2 to 3 hours, and because I do 2 events, it takes up longer for me and more hard work towards it. So my training is usually 6 to 7 hours a day.
How do you prepare yourself mentally and physically to competitions?
I have been through a lot of mental training, and through experiences I found out certain things that work for me, and I just maintain routines before a match.
So can you share your some of your challenges you have faced on your path?
I would say challenges faced on my path would be certain matches where I have been sick or when I don't feel ready, but you have to go through certain things in life in order to grow out of them. You can't always be in a certain comfort zone. You have to be facing uncomfortable situations to know how you deal with it.
How do you manage your typical day on the, especially like a gold medalist means it's not an easy thing to everyone. Means there are so many competitors for you. So how do you manage that typical day? How do you prepare yourself?
I don't look at a match based on its level. I treat it as a normal match, because when you make it big in your head, it's difficult for you to perform. So rather looking at it as a normal day or a normal match day is better. That works for me. So I follow the same routines because I need to perform the way I've been doing in training, nothing extra.
ESHA, you participate in 10 meters and 25 meters pistol events, no, shooting events. So do you require any license?
Yeah, for 25 meters you require a license. You will be eligible once you're about 13 plus.
Is there any age criteria?
In shooting?
Yeah.
No, we don't have any age criteria like that. You can be 10 years old and you can participate in seniors. So there's no age criteria.
I think in 2020 Tokyo Olympics, you are the standby shooter for that qualifying event, I think. So how is your journey for that qualifying event?
So before an Olympic, we have Olympic trials taking place from the federation, and that's when we filter out the team. So I was part of the Olympic core group camp during the COVID times. So yeah.
So are there any specific tournaments you have to attend, like these many tournaments or these many medals you have to get to qualify for the Olympic event?
Yeah, you need to have an Olympic quota, and I don't really remember the proper procedure last time, but this time you need to play about 2 World Cups to have a certain amount of points from the ISSF. So that's usually how it goes.
Okay, tell me something about your shooting federation. How does they support you?
Yeah, they've been very supportive, and yeah, we've been taken care well.
Okay, who do you feel the most competitors in India or the other countries?
Usually, as I said, I don't look towards the competitors or make it big in my hand. I look at them as just another shooter. So at the end of the day, I make sure the competition is with myself.
So can we know who are your role models in this shooting world?
I wouldn't say role models. I don't really keep it like that. But I would say I admire a shooter called Anna Korokaki. She's from Greece.
Okay.
So yeah.
Oh, how has how has this winning gold medal changed your career?
I again didn't want to put it as like a benchmark that this is where it stops. So I just look at it just another like a medal added to my frames. But I don't think it would change anything. It's just a booster to my confidence.
Okay, any advices from you, like for the young shooters? Can you?
I guess for the youngsters, I just have an advice that once you've picked out your sport, or not even just a sport, whether it's education or whatever it is, have a goal, have a plan. Because when you wake up in the morning, make sure you have a goal and a target you want to wake up to. So yeah, have a purpose and look forward to it.
Okay, what's about this year's journey for you?
This year has been great in terms of learning experiences and achievements. So very grateful for this year.
Oh, so nice. ESHA, like how much duration it will take in one shooting event?
So in 25 meters we have we do a first half and second half. So the first round is a precision round, Usually they are on different days, but sometimes it's also on the same day. So it takes about 40 to 45 minutes for one half of the match. The second half is the same 45 minutes. 10 meters is again different. We have a 60 shot match, and that is 1 hour 15 minutes. But before that we have sighters, so where we set the target, we set our weapons, and we get comfortable with the range.
So this is all about the preparation.
Yeah.
So 45 minutes is the game duration in first half.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a lengthy game duration when compared to different sports.
Yes, we have long standing hours. So for me especially, strengthening lower body is important.
Yeah.
But again, it's different for every individual.
Okay. So like in the practice sessions, like the bullets and all, how would you take care of? Is the government providing you the support for all the?
We have the fundings and the ammunition, and when it comes to weapon and the equipments, the federation does support us in that way. But again, it's on an individual basis. If you want a higher model or a better quality, that depends on you. But otherwise we get it from SINGH.
Somewhere in the article I have read that at home only you have a setup for the shooting.
Yes, I have a 10 meters range at home.
Okay. Okay. Does it cost high, or normal people can go to that?
I mean, sports or education both require, they're both expensive. So I wouldn't say shooting is that expensive of a sport, but in terms of, if you rank sports wise comparing to other sports, it is a bit of expensive. So 10 meters, I think at home building a range would cost you around about 2 to 3, depends how high quality you want to build.
Okay, so nice to have you all. So one more thing I want to know, what are the techniques you adopt in your shooting event?
So it depends, it falls on an individual. I feel sports is more of a trial and error. You need to try out things. It's not just you have this and you have to do this more and more to get perfect in it. You need we do experiment a bit, so it falls on an individual. So for me, a better technique to follow during a match is just to focus more on my process.
So is there any instance that you have followed your co-shooters, or anything you have learned while participating in the events, in the shooting events, from your seniors or the co-participants? Is there any instance like that?
No, there's not been any incident like that. Okay. Because most of my things that I've learned is from my matches which didn't go that well. I feel those have been a better teacher to me than anything I've learned in the sport.
Okay, so is there any certain things like the target should be this much, the score should be this much? Could you please explain about the scores and all?
So we have 60 shots, and the higher scores ranging goes from about 580 plus. So our scoring system is about 600 shots, because the highest shot you can shoot is a 10. Okay. So that way it's a 600 shot based game. So usually the highest scores are 80 plus. Okay.
ESHA, could you please tell me about your journey? How does it started and you are today?
So my journey started with me watching my dad, because he's a sportsman and he is a rally driver. So I used to go for his races, see a collection of trophies at home. So I always wanted to take up a certain sport. I never thought I would take it as a career, more like a hobby. But so I was searching for sports to take up. So as a normal kid, I mean, in school we had tennis. So I got really into tennis during the summer camps. And then I started with badminton, because that time I feel tennis was more of a hype in the early 2000s, because 2010s, because of Sania Mirza. So most of the kids used to go to tennis. So I did that for a few years, and then on a Sunday morning I had no school, and I got up a little late and I saw my dad dressing up to go out somewhere. So I started to ask him where was he heading to, and he said that there is a sport called shooting, and he was heading towards Gachibowli side to watch one of his friends shoot. So I said I would join, and that's when I saw shooting for the first time at the Gachibowli range. And yeah, it was such a unique sport. There was no age criteria that I could just immediately join. And yeah, it was very different from the other sports I'd played. There was no running around in the sun. It was more of an indoor game, standing still. That's what I thought it was before. I never knew the mental side of the sport and how much of difficulties you face in the sport. For me, it looked more like just a unique sport to pick it up. But yeah, and then I had trained at the Gun for Glory Academy in Pune, because at that time we didn't have Gun for Glory in Hyderabad or any training centers particular for beginners in Hyderabad. So I had to go to Pune, and that's how it started, learning more about shooting, and I realized that okay, I'm really good at this. So that's how I took it up, and then slowly I started doing state championship, and I won my first gold there, and yeah, that's how it started.
So every weekends you used to travel Pune?
Not every weekends. The beginner stage, I needed to perfect my basics and the beginner stage. So the best institute that time you could go to was at GFG Pune.
Okay. So how long did you continue in Gachibowli Stadium before that?
Before that, I think I was doing for 1 or 2 months, again at the weekends only because I had school. So I was a regular student at that time. Okay. So the weekends I would do that.
Isha, could you please elaborate how did you place the support system from the coaches, the family, or your friends in such a place?
So in Gun for Glory, my coach was Hiren, and yeah, the staff at Gun for Glory is very supportive. They really know how to brush a beginner and how to make them strong in the basics. And my family has been supportive since the start. My dad, being such a sports enthusiast, he always wanted me to go into sports because he felt sports gives you a certain kind of a discipline in life. So he was rooting for me to get into a sport. So yeah, support has been really great.
I think from your father, it's a much more support. He sacrificed his rally.
Yeah, my family sacrificed a lot for me, and I'm very, very grateful for that.
And sometimes your mother used to take up your father duties, and you used to travel to Pune.
Yeah, my mom usually used to manage home and business at when we used to be away.
Okay, this is all for this day. About ESHA Singh, we have learnt about her career, her journey, her world championships, her successful shooting journey. So this is all. I am signing off. Your Sonalata. Thank you so much.
Hello viewers, we have with us ARUNA Buddha Reddy, World Cup Gymnastics bronze medalist. Welcome to Sports Roundup, Aruna. Aruna, what is it about gymnastics that drew you to the sport? Why didn't you go for badminton, shooting or boxing, which has made Hyderabad famous? Why gymnastics, Aruna?
So the credit goes to my karate coach, Mr. Balasubramaniam. So he's usually known as Balu. So that was because my family was never a sports family since starting. But my father wants me to join somewhere into the sports or the other physical activities, because my elder sister, she was completely into studies. So that way he introduced me into sports. So initially we never had any idea what sports to be chosen and how to go forward. So he chose me to drop into karate because we had a park beside our home and where the karate classes were supposed to go on Shotokan. So that way we got introduced with Mr. Balu sir. And then at the age of 3, I started doing karate just because of my father. And that's how after 4 years when I won black belt, and then my coach himself, Mr. Balasubramaniam, he introduced me into gymnastics. So that is how that is my first time in 2000. I heard the word gymnastics and then I entered into the sport.
Okay, you have come a long way, Aruna, in the sense, in terms of achievements, in terms of experience in this sport of gymnastics, which dates back to the Roman civilization, I hear. So how do you trace your evolution as a gymnast, right from the first apparatus that you got on?
So as said, in 2000 when I started, I mean when I went to LB Stadium for the first time with my coach, karate coach, and also my father. My father was very excited looking at the sport. Oh, it looks so amazing, you know, people are flying in the air, they're doing somersault, they're doing giants. It looks so interesting. And as well, my karate master, he already knew about gymnastics. And then when I went there, my father was seeing the other part where the senior players and all the gymnasts who were doing that time, they were doing elements in the air. So that was very interesting for him. But my eyesight directly went on to the stretching part, where the other coaches were, you know, forcefully stretching the kids. And then I thought, no, this is not meant for me, I should not go into this. But my father's credit was that, no, you have to choose the sport, it looked so interesting. And I think we never had that recognition at that time for gymnastics. So you should be that person who will get gymnastics, that recognition and awareness in our country. And that is how my career in gymnastics started. Initially, for 2 years, I started in 2002. 2000, we had some national games here in Hyderabad. So I saw the national game event in gymnastics. Then in 2002, I started my career as a gymnast. But initially, I was not interested. You know, I used to find excuses saying, Nana, today I don't feel good. You know, today I feel vomit. Today I have stomachache. Please, I don't have my dress. How can I do? Even in that cases, it was like, okay, there are washrooms in the gym. You can go vomit there if you want. That's fine. Totally fine. No problem. You have stomachache. Once you stretch, it will be completely fine. So that way he used to push me out. And then in 2005, I won my first national medal, directly gold in my favorite event and the event which I am expert in, table vault. And that is when, you know, I started taking gymnastics as my competitive sport, because as we say, once I tasted that success and standing on the victory, taking the medal, gold medal, I always wanted that to happen continuously. So that is when I started, you know, coming into complete competitive. Oh, Aruna, you're a gymnast, you have to take sports as your career, you can do this really amazing sport. And that is how it started into the competitive field. And slowly from 2005, every year I used to win sub-junior champion. I was junior champion continuously for 3 years, then senior champion, and my international career. Even that has a small story wherein my father used to go to Bangalore in flights. So he used to get me those PET bottles which they give us in the flight. And I was like, Papa, even I want to go. You know, how interesting it should be. You know, you're traveling by flight. Oh, how was, you know, everything down? Could you see? So that experiment, he said, okay, if you want to go, I will not buy a ticket for you. It's your responsibility to get your own ticket. I said, how is it possible? Go to international, represent India. You'll not travel to the other state, you'll travel to the other country. So you can do it for yourself at this age. And that is how he started putting me, okay, even I can represent India, I can go out. So that is how my international participation started in 2009 with World School Games. And then slowly, but at that time, we as a gymnast in our sport, we never thought of winning international medal. Okay. Participating and representing India outside our country in the international competition, that was a big thing for us, big achievement for every gymnast in our country. But when slowly, when we started thinking of it, okay, oh, even Indians can win medal in gymnastics. Why only badminton? Why only boxing? Why only the other sports? So even we can do it. And then in 2010, that was in 2009 when I started playing international. In 2010, Mr. Ashish Kumar, he's my senior. So when he won first Commonwealth medal for India, silver and bronze in Delhi, and then we could recognize, okay, now even gymnasts can bring medal to India. So we can, you know, try to dream of winning medals for India. And then slowly the progress started. Even at that point, I was just a senior passing out from the junior. So I never had that much of exposure, okay, how? Because there has been a lot of difference from the abroad players and our performance. So much, huge difference. So we didn't know how to cover it. And in gymnastics, it's not that easy to, you know, change the scores or change our routines, because it needs almost 10 years of experience to put an element into a routine. So it was not that easy. But slowly at that time, my next senior, Ms. Deepa Karmakar, due to her, we can say that there was a next revolution of gymnastics in India. She got a lot of fame to our sport. So after that medal, even she was part in 2010 Commonwealth Games. She saw Ashish Bhaiya winning a medal, standing on the victory stand and the applause all around. And then she thought of winning a medal in women's as well and going to Olympics. And that is how, I was her junior that time. She is 3 years elder to me. So I used to look at her. We used to train together from 2013 till 2015. We trained together in national camps. So I used to look at her. She was like, अगर आशीष मेडल जीत सकता है, अगर एक लड़का मेडल जीत सकता है, तो लड़की क्यों नहीं? That was her only question she always had. मैं क्यों नहीं? मैं भी कर सकती हूँ, लड़कियाँ भी कर सकते हैं. And she was, she had that grit, what can I say? She has that grudge, like, no, I have to do it at any cost. I should get that medal to women's in gymnastics. Because we were like, when Ashish Bhaiya got medal, men's artistic gymnastics raised to next level. Like everyone, okay, medal आ सकता है तो सिर्फ लड़कों ला सकते हैं, लड़कियां नहीं. So that was the point even in the gymnastic fraternity. So that was somewhere pinching us in the women's field. Like, okay, whenever we come in front, they're like, okay, koi baat nahi, you take the secondary thing, priority is always given to the men's. And that pinched Deepa Karmakar, and in 2014 she won the other Commonwealth medal. And that is the moment when I realized we did training together from 2013, 2015, at least for a year till that time. In 2014 when she won Commonwealth medal, we do training together for a year. But what is the difference that she could win medal, and what is that where I'm standing in the audience, I'm sitting in the audience and applauding, gymnast taking medal. So I realized it means there should be a coach for yourself who has the same dream and target which you want to achieve. Because Deepa Karmakar, she always trained with her own coach since starting, since childhood. And it's been almost 18 years of experience till 2014 she could win that medal. Because they were traveling on one route. And for me it was, since starting it was like, okay, state government ka coaches hai, they used to give me training. When I shifted to camps, I never had my own coach. So there was the other coach, Deepa Karmakar's coach, who was training me. So it was like, okay, I have to choose, or coaches would choose me. Okay, you come into my group, okay, you change to that group. So there was no one consistent training pattern for me. And then at that time I could realize, okay, this thing literally makes a difference. If a coach and a student travels in one line to reach a goal, then it's easy. Because without coach, student can't do anything in spite of having a lot of talent. That's fact. So in 2014 when I could see that, I approached coach again. I said, please, I want to do, help me out. And he said, no, this is not your age, because it's normal. Like, he has his own student who she has a lot of talent, and he wants to give all the systematic training, everything to her, and I was left aside. And then in 2016, I said, I'm not going to camps. Now, first thing for me is to find a coach, because I was at that point where I couldn't even come back, saying, okay, I'll quit. I was at that one borderline. If I step that side, I can do I can create history. And if I step down, I have wasted everything. My father's dream, my first coach dream, and then these many years of hard work, my parents' sacrifices, compromises, everything will go in ruin. So we had to take that decision, no, first find a coach for me who has same passion like you to achieve something. And then slowly, after 2 years in 2008, I could find my present coach, Manoj sir. And he is 10 steps ahead of my thinking. So that made a good combination. And that is when I approached him, after 6 months, I could make a history. And that is how, my creating history since starting started. And after that, it's been all the challenges.
As we have seen through the narration by Aruna herself, what is most paramount for a sportsperson is attitude. And I think her t-shirt says it all. Never give up.
आदाब हैदराबाद।
आदाब नाजरीन, दूरदर्शन यादगिरी चैनल के खुसूसी प्रोग्राम आदाब हैदराबाद में एक मुलाकात के तहत आज आपकी मुलाकात हम हैदराबाद के तंज़ मिज़ाज के बहुत ही मशहूर शायर मोइन अमर बम्बू से करवाने जा रहे हैं, जो अपनी दिल की बातें आपके सामने शेयर करेंगे और खुसूसी कलाम के ज़रिए आप सभी नाजरीन का दिल बहलाएंगे या यूँ कहिए कि महसूस करवाएंगे तमाम नाजरीन को। आपका बहुत बहुत खैर मकदम है जनाब मोइन अमर बम्बू साहब।
बहुत बहुत शुक्रगुजार हूँ आपका कि जो आपने इस उम्र में हमारे को याद किया।
अच्छा, चलिए, देर आए दुरुस्त है, आ तो गया आप।
हाँ।
तो सबसे पहले मैं ये ज़रूर जानना चाहूँगा कि आप एक गवर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉय होने के साथ साथ एक बहैसियत शायर भी हैं।
जी हाँ।
तो इस डगर को आपने जो शुरुआत की थी वो किस तरह, हमें ज़रूर बताइए।
देखिए सरकार, ये असल हुआ यूँ कि हम मुशायरे शौक़ से सुना करते थे
जी,
और मुशायरों में हुटिंग करना हमारा काम था।
अच्छा,
हाँ,
एज ए हुटर थे हम।
हाँ, एज ए हुटर मशहूर थे हम। हमारे साथ मुनव्वर अली मुख्तसर, हम और एक महमूद भाई, ये 3-4 का गैंग था। जहाँ मुशायरा होता हुटिंग करते थे।
अच्छा,
हाँ, तो जिंदा दिलान के मुशायरों में भी हमने बहुत हुटिंग करी। तो हफीज़ खां मज़ाक साहब बहुत चिढ़ते थे।
अच्छा,
हाँ,
जो अपने वक्त के बहुत ही
बहुत मशहूर शायर थे। तो उन्होंने हिमायत भाई से शिकायत की कि हिमायत भाई, ये 2-3 लौंडे चिल्लर कामा कर रहे हैं, जब मैं आता हूँ तो हुटिंग कर देते, मेरे को समझ में नहीं आता।
अच्छा,
तो हिमायत भाई क्या करे, एक दिन बुलाए, क्या है मियाँ, कौन है आप? मैं बोला मोइन अमर नाम है मेरा।
अच्छा,
तो आप हुटिंगा भी करते?
अच्छा।
ऐसा बोलने। तो मैं बोला नहीं सर हिमायत भाई, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है। ये बोल रहे ना ये साहब है, देखो ऐसा है। तो मैं बोला नहीं सरकार, कि कभी एक आध जुमला बोल देते और कुछ भी नहीं है, ऐसा नहीं है। तो नहीं मियाँ, नहीं करना, देखो ऐसा अच्छा नहीं है
जी,
बोल के खामोश बैठ गए। हम भी खामोश बैठ गए, हो गया। हम फिर 2-3 मुशायरों के बाद फिर हम शुरू करें। तो अब हद से ज़्यादा हो गया, तो क्या करें मालूम है, हिमायत भाई मेरे को मुनव्वर अली को बुलाए। बुला के बोले देखो मियाँ, आज से तुम लोग शायर।
अच्छा।
अरे मैं बोला नहीं सरकार, मेरे को शायरी वाली
मतलब आपकी हुटिंग रोकने के लिए शायर बना
दिए।
अच्छा।
हिमायत भाई बोले नहीं मुनव्वर अली तुम भी शायर, तुम भी शायर। अरे मैं बोला नहीं होता साहब। नहीं 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 नहीं, तुम स्टेज पे बैठना। अच्छा भाई बोल के हम खामोश बैठ गए, आ गए। तो उस ज़माने में हमारे भाई
जी,
शफ़ी मास्टर साहब हमारे भाई होते थे
जी।
तो उन्होंने हमारे को भी जिला दी कि भाई आप शायरी करो। टूटी फूटी शायरी कर लेते थे।
अच्छा,
तो बोले कि नहीं भाई करो, हिमायत भाई जब आपकी हिमायत वो कर रहे हैं तो आप शायरी करो। बोले तो हम बोले ठीक है। बोल के हम क्या करें, पहली एक गज़ल लिख के हिमायत भाई बोले हमारे को सुनाना आप।
अच्छा।
बोले तो
जो हिमायत भाई का वो हिमायत भाई जब भी किसी आर्टिस्ट को पेश करते या फिर किसी शायर को, तो सबसे पहले उनको सुनाना ये लफ्ज़ ज़रूर बोलते। और वो सुनने के बाद जब इत्मीनान में आने के बाद ही स्टेज दिया जाता। ये उनका रोल था।
बिल्कुल, उनकी बेइंतहा मेहरबानी रही हमारी जो शायर बनाने में। और हर जगह जहाँ भी हमारे को काट दिया जाता, चलो मियाँ ये क्या है, ये बदतमीज़ी नहीं करना, ऐसा नहीं करना, वैसा नहीं करना, चलो थू तुम बाल नए सिरे से अब ऐसा बोल के शुरू करा देते थे। तो बोले कि देखो मियाँ, अब हमारा एग्ज़िबिशन ग्राउंड में हमारा वो क्लब में मुशायरा होने वाला है, आपको हम वहाँ पेश करेंगे।
अच्छा।
हाँ। तो हम बोले अच्छा भाई। तो हम पहला मुशायरा एग्ज़िबिशन ग्राउंड में जैसा शुरू हुआ मुशायरा, 2-3 शायरा पढ़ दिए। उसके बाद गड़बड़ हैदराबादी का नंबर आया।
अच्छा, गड़बड़ हैदराबादी।
हाँ।
अच्छा।
उन्होंने जैसा पढ़े, पढ़ के यूँ बैठे कि फिर मेरा नाम पुकारे। मैं जैसा एक दो शेर पढ़ा कि गड़बड़ हैदराबादी साहब को ख़याल शुरू हो गए।
अरे रे,
हाँ, स्टेज पे गिर गए उन्होंने। गिरते वो मुशायरा दरहम बरहम हो गया, करा के बहरहाल उनको एम्बुलेंस तक नहीं मिली, बेचारे वहीं इंतकाल कर गए।
गड़बड़ हैदराबाद।
हाँ, गड़बड़ हैदराबादी।
तो ये सिर्फ आपके कलाम का नतीजा था।
तो फिर उसके बाद हिमायत भाई मिले, मियाँ अच्छा करे आप अपनी जगह बनाने को एक को गाड़ दिए। अरे बोला नहीं हिमायत भाई, नहीं, बेचारा आपका सुना पट बोल के गिर ऐसा करे।
मगर आप ये बोलना था मेरा कलाम पूरा मुकम्मिल सुन के मरता तो अच्छा रहता था।
अजी मियाँ एक ही अभी तुम्हारा मतलब ही सुना तो उन्हें ये हो गया, मकसद तक आते तो कितने लोग मर जाते थे आपके साथ।
चलो अच्छा हुआ कि जो है मुशायरे में आपको मौका ही नहीं मिला, वरना कितने शोरा खत्म हो जाते थे, है ना।
उसके बाद से फिर हिमायत भाई अपने मुशायरों में जगह देने लगे और
सिलसिला चलता
रहा।
तो हमें ये बताइए कि आपने सबसे पहली मर्तबा जो कलाम सुनाया वो किस शायर से मुतासिर होकर आपने लिखा या फिर पढ़ा होगा?
ये मैं उस वक़्त ये बेधड़क मदरासी थे, सुलेमान ख़तीब साहब थे, इन लोगों को बहुत सुनता था।
अच्छा।
तो मेरा भी दिल चाहता था कि भाई ऐसी पढ़ें करें तो
उनसे मुतासिर हुए थे।
हो
तो मैं चाहता हूँ कि वो पहला कलाम
जी
जो जिंदगी में एक यादगार
के तौर पर